This week we moved to the peaceful island of Saint Agnes with its population of around 85 people. We eat Cornish saffron buns and visit the islands of Bryher and Tresco, which are the perfect holiday retreats. We're just leaving St Mary's in the Isles of Scilly. St Mary's is a really secure mooring place, so really well maintained moorings, lovely harbour, all the facilities, easy access to town. Sorry, I'm out of breath, I've just climbed up the companionway steps. But it's open to the west, so over behind me there's just a gap to the Atlantic Ocean, so all of the fetch of the Atlantic comes across, and any swell that's westerly in nature just goes straight into the mouth of St Mary's Harbour. So we've had a pretty rolly couple of nights. The first one was fine, it was bad weather, so we kind of accepted that. We paid for 2 nights because we wanted to walk around St Mary's. We were hoping to go to the Scilly distillery and show you guys that. But unfortunately they were out delivering on the mainland, so we didn't manage to have any gin on that island. We did have a lovely local beer at the Old Town Inn. But yeah, today we got up early and decided enough is enough. We're moving to Saint Agnes and Goo, which is behind me over here. We've been here before in a friend's boat. It's a beautiful island. I hope to get some drone footage here, because it's one of the most picturesque places I've ever stayed in a boat. So yeah, hopefully we'll update you later when we are anchored in the bay there. Morning, Captain Jude. Have you got anything to say?
Tired.
Why are you tired, Jude?
Because of the squeaking, the banging, and the rolling, and the Dave. You kept getting up every 5 minutes.
To try to fix the squeaking?
Yeah. No, I have had enough sleep, I think. Maybe a restful afternoon is required. But yeah, it was a bad night, I think, overall. But glad to get to Agnes and Goo. It was our plan anyway. So we just figured we may as well do it early. And we'll be all good. Go for a wander around the island.
Here we are about 20 minutes later. We've just dropped anchor in between Saint Agnes and Gu. Saint Agnes on that side, Gu on that side. I pronounce it Gu, it's G-U-G-H. I'm not actually sure of the proper pronunciation. There's not a lot of locals to ask, so but I'm sure there is a proper way. In between them there is a little bit of sand. So there's a very similar bay north of the islands. We're in the south. The north has got more mooring buoys for commercial boats. That's where the ferry comes in, so it's better to anchor on the south side. And yeah, at a very high water, the water actually rushes over the sandbank in the middle, but it's not a problem for anchoring. There's a couple of knots of current comes through. It can be dangerous for things like paddle boarders if they're not aware, or swimmers, and if they're even remotely aware, you just swim sideways to the current and you'll end up back at the shore, because obviously that current just runs straight out to sea. So pretty safe if you know what you're doing. Absolutely beautiful place. We're going to go ashore later on, probably going to do a run first, then come back to the boat, finish off getting ready, and then we'll go to, there's a pub called the Turk's Head that looks out over the northern bay and the other islands, so you can see Tresco and Bryher, St Martin's and St Mary's from the Turk's Head. So lovely views, and we'll sit out probably on a picnic table given that it's sunny again, and just enjoy the day.
Open your eyes, let's get it done. Take my hand, just follow me. Shadow and me are one. Oh, oh, the sky is on fire. The lake has turned to a golden sun. Oh, oh, I'll never get tired. I just wanna dance, just wanna let's get it done. Take my hand, just follow me. The shadow and me are one. Oh, oh, the sky is on fire.
So we're out having a run on St Agnes, and just thought I'd show you these kind of big rock piles that are everywhere on the island. Another one just behind me here. And it's very strange because the rest of the place is just completely flat. A little bit undulating, but mostly flat with rocks everywhere. And it sort of looks like some giant has come along and just stacked a few up to tidy the place up. So not sure geologically what happened, but it's pretty cool to look at, and it's a lovely place to run. So we'll carry on now and catch up later. The Cornish have been using the spice saffron for a very long time, and when visiting you will see things like saffron cake and saffron buns in every bakery. These are a fruity bread and generally eaten plain, buttered or with Cornish clotted cream and either raw or toasted to taste. Saffron came to Cornwall as early as 400 BC through trading with the Phoenicians and Romans in exchange for valuable tin mined in Cornwall. This continued as trade evolved, and the Spanish also brought the spice to Cornwall in the 14th century. Even today, saffron is one of the most expensive ingredients due to the labour-intensive way it's produced. In UK supermarkets, just half a gram is around £3, so it's a tribute to the wealth in Cornwall over the centuries that it was so heavily used there. We just weighed anchor at Saint Agnes. So today I weighed the anchor by myself. Jude was still down below. Yesterday I took us off the mooring by myself. We think it's probably useful to practice these things just in case we ever need them. So yeah, just sort of practicing. Everything went fine. It's quite a fun sensation when you've got the anchor halfway up. You can see it because the water here is crystal clear, and so you know that the boat has started to drift, no longer attached to the bottom, but it isn't on the boat, so you're not able to go back and start driving away. But actually the boat drifts a lot less than I used to think it did. There is a little bit of wind, there's probably a little bit of tide in there, but the boat stayed pretty static. Same yesterday, coming off the mooring, the boat just sat next to the mooring. I ended up having to reverse away from it. So a lot less worrying, scary than it seems, but good to practice these things nevertheless. And today we are off to, where are we off to?
Bryher.
We're off to Bryher, so we're gonna anchor hopefully between Bryher and Tresco at New Grimsby. And we've never been to that bit before. We've walked all the way around Tresco. That was a beautiful island, but we anchored on the other side. St Kittens, I think, was the anchorage that we used there. So this time we thought we'd go the other side and see what Bryher looks like, and then hopefully we will be off towards Ireland the following day or in a couple of days. The weather's actually predicted to be 25 degrees in the UK this week, so there's a very strong feeling on board that maybe we could just spend the week in the Scillies and enjoy the sunshine in our little tropical island chain. But then we're also conscious we'd quite like good weather to go across to Ireland. That bit of sea is pretty nasty when it gets nasty, so it'd be nice to have relatively flat seas. There's also a southwesterly, I think south-southwesterly wind coming up, which would put us on probably a beam reach, if not a slight run, to get up to Ireland, which could be good. About 13 knots of wind predicted, so we'll see how we feel tomorrow. We've had a couple of fairly bad nights sleep because it's been quite rolly with the swell, but feel like we're recovering now. A few pints of Rattler at the Turk's Head did wonders for us, and so yeah, we'll see how we feel this evening as to whether we want to get going or spend a few more days. So we'll catch up later.
just come to land to have a bit of a walk. So we're walking across the island and then we're going to walk around the south of it. When setting off this morning, ended up having a lot of swell and it felt like the world was ending.
It didn't feel like the world was ending, just quite swelly. We didn't really plan this because we thought it would be 10 minutes around the top. It's more like an hour and a half to 2 hours, so we should have planned it. There was tide against the swell, so it was building quite a big sea, probably 4 meters or so. It was certainly as high as our lowest spreaders, but it was perfectly safe. It was just quite big and scary.
But it was also quite sort of interesting to see all the waves crashing against the rocks as we got closer in and we were turning in and they were just smashing against them. I think there's some footage of that to see. We didn't take much footage. But yeah, we're going to carry on our walk. Afterwards we're going to go over to Tresco and have a bit of a wander around there. And then we'll probably head back to the boat and we need to decide what our next plan is and what we're going to do.
Interesting thing walking in the Scillies is you're just constantly coming over new bays that are effectively empty with lovely sandy beaches because the people are so spread out and there are so many bays, and it all gets a bit samey after a while that it's all so beautiful and so deserted and so sunny and lovely, and the sea is a beautiful shade of blue. Certainly in the polarized sunglasses it looks even better. But just a lovely place to walk.
We've just got onto Tresco. We've just had a bit of a wander into the main town area. I think it's like Tresco Gardens it's called. The atmosphere on this island is very different, like everything's all maintained. There's very pretty flowers, like borders, all of those. There's a few more trucks and cars and they'll have personalised number plates you'll have seen to get them around. There's a lot of holiday cottages behind me, but yeah, so it's a very different feeling island. Probably just going to stop at the pub, have a quick half and then probably head back to the boat. I'm not really sure yet. We'll see whatever else we get up to. We've already visited this island, to be fair, before, so we've walked around it, so we're not necessarily needing to do that this time.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please click like and subscribe below and leave us a comment so we know what you enjoy. That's the end of the video, but we're just going to let this beautiful drone footage play out as we thought you might like it.